Severance wasn't fiction. It was a warning about modern work culture. In the world of severance, employees at Lumen Industries undergo a procedure that splits their consciousness in two: one identity for work, another for personal life. The promise is seductive. Perfect balance. A life where stress never spills over, where work stays at work, and home remains untouched by professional burdens. But beneath its sterile, fluorescent-lit hallways, Severance reveals a horror far more familiar than fiction. The show's world is not an invention, it is a reflection. The corporate dream of compartmentalized existence is not about freedom, but about control. We tell ourselves that stress ends the moment we shut our laptops, yet work lingers in our bodies, in the tension in our shoulders, in the restlessness of our sleep, in the way we check emails long after office hours. What Severance exposes is that balance is not real separation. It is controlled suppression. A mirage is not simply an illusion. It is an illusion that demands effort. The more you walk, the more it recedes, taunting you with the promise of relief. This is how corporations sell work-life balance. They tell us that if we optimize just a little more, we will finally reach equilibrium. But the reality, the moment you catch up, the goalposts move, the inbox refills, the expectations rise, and you keep walking. The modern workplace is built on a similar promise, one that whispers of harmony, of stability, of neatly drawn lines between labor and leisure. We are assured that if we manage our time well enough, if we structure our schedules correctly, we will achieve the elusive state of a work-life balance. Yet, for many, this balance remains a distant mirage, visible only in corporate handbooks and wellness seminars. This illusion is not accidental. It serves a function. In the same way that ancient rulers spoke of divine order to justify their dominion, the corporate world sells balance as a personal responsibility, shifting the burden from systems onto individuals. If you feel overworked, it's not the fault of the structure, they suggest. It's your inability to manage your priorities. And so, the exhausted worker is made to believe that the fault lies not in the ever-growing expectations, the emails at midnight, the unspoken pressure to be available, but in themselves. Take, for example, medieval European peasants. Contrary to modern assumptions that life before industrialization was an unbroken chain of labor, many agricultural societies operated on a schedule dictated by the land, the seasons, and religious observance. Peasants had long stretches of rest interwoven with their work, particularly in winter, when the land itself demanded stillness. Feasts, holy days, and seasonal festivals, many of which lasted days, were built into the calendar, offering a reprieve from toil. Even during planting and harvest, labor was communal, shared among families and villages in ways that softened its burden. Work and rest were not opposing forces. They existed as part of a cycle, dictated not by abstract performance metrics, but by the tangible rhythms of the earth itself. Technology, the supposed liberator, has quietly bound us tighter to our obligations. The same devices that promise efficiency also ensure that the office is never further than a pocket's reach. A flexible schedule was once a tool for autonomy. Now, it is a quiet acknowledgement that work no longer ends at the close of business hours. Even leisure has become performative. Weekend trips turned into content, hobbies curated for professional networking. Burnout is no longer a crisis, it is an inevitability. In 2019, The World Health Organization formally classified burnout as an occupational phenomenon, yet solutions remain superficial. Companies offer meditation apps, lunch-hour yoga, and mental health webinars, gestures that acknowledge distress while doing nothing to address its cause. It is no surprise, then, that stress-related illnesses and mental fatigue continue to rise. What we call balance is often just exhaustion in disguise. And yet, there is another path, one that does not begin with optimizing our schedules, but with questioning the structures themselves. What if balance is not a matter of better time management, but of resisting the notion that our worth is tied to productivity? What if true success is not measured by output, but by the ability to reclaim time, to exist outside the logic of constant labor? The corporate world will not grant this freedom willingly. It must be taken deliberately through small acts of reclaiming time for oneself, whether through solitude, art, or the simple decision to be unreachable. And so we walk, endlessly, chasing a balance that was never meant to be caught. We trade away our hours, our energy, our well-being, convinced that if we just push a little further, we will arrive. But what if we stopped walking? What if we refused to chase what was never real to begin with? Work-life balance will not be given. It must be reclaimed, not through optimization, but through defiance, through drawing boundaries no one else will draw for us, through learning, perhaps, that real rest begins not when we schedule it, but when we take it back. Like a mirage, the closer we think we are to balance, the further it drifts from reach.